8 signs of high cortisol levels. Have you ever wondered how high cortisol levels could affect your health? You might have heard about the stress hormone and wondered what it means. Well, that's cortisol. It's a hormone your body produces when you're stressed, thanks to your adrenal glands. Think of cortisol as your body's response to stress. When stress shows up, adrenaline triggers the release of cortisol to help you cope. This hormone then taps into your energy reserves, kind of like a backup power source. Here's the thing, having too much cortisol could be a sign of underlying health issues. In this video, we're covering the top 8 signs of high cortisol levels and how to deal with them. Stick around to the end, we've got some steps to share. Let's get started. The first one is loss of leg muscle. A common sign of heightened cortisol is the phenomenon where leg muscles diminish, while excess fat accumulates around the abdomen, especially in older men, typically over 50. To grasp this, we need to introduce a significant player: insulin. Insulin, produced by the pancreas, regulates blood sugar levels by aiding the absorption of glucose into cells for energy. However, due to aging or certain lifestyles, cells can become less responsive to insulin, resulting in insulin resistance. Returning to cortisol, this stress hormone does more than trigger the fight or flight response. It impacts glucose metabolism. Elevated cortisol prompts the liver to produce more glucose while hampering muscle cells' glucose uptake. This leads to higher blood sugar levels and increased insulin release. As insulin resistance emerges, a series of changes ensue. Among them, fat storage and usage are altered. Insulin resistance fosters the storage of extra fat, particularly around the abdomen. Concurrently, cortisol, in its energy-supplying efforts, can break down muscle proteins. The combination of these factors, reduced muscle mass and increased abdominal fat, contributes to the distinct image of slimming legs and a prominent midsection. Next up, waking up in the night. A significant sign of elevated cortisol levels is waking up around 2 to 3 a.m., influenced by our sleep patterns. Cortisol, linked to our body's 24-hour clock, typically rises during these hours. Stress or anxiety can further elevate cortisol, leading to early wakefulness. This can be heightened by the sympathetic nervous system, increasing heart rate and blood pressure, hampering sleep. Nighttime offers a serene setting, often amplifying concerns and spiking cortisol levels. Consequently, maintaining sleep or returning to it becomes challenging. In essence, the interplay of natural rhythms and emotions during nighttime impacts sleep quality and duration. 3. High blood pressure. High blood pressure can signal elevated cortisol levels. Cortisol's engagement in fight or flight mode can cause vessel constriction and increase our heart rate, significantly impacting our cardiovascular health. Additionally, cortisol promotes sodium retention, augmenting our blood volume and blood pressure. Persistent high cortisol can disrupt our vessel linings, which are responsible for relaxation, possibly leading to hypertension. This collaboration can lead to undesirable outcomes, emphasizing the importance of managing cortisol for overall well-being. The next one is number 4. Cold sores. Have you ever wondered why those pesky cold sores keep showing up? High cortisol levels might be the sneaky reason. Cortisol, the stress hormone, can actually mess with our immune system, making it a bit less effective at fighting off infections, like hitting pause on our immune defenses. Now, let's talk about the troublemakers behind cold sores: the herpes simplex virus, HSV. Imagine this. Our immune system usually keeps HSV in check. But when cortisol goes haywire, it weakens our immune system. That gives HSV the chance to wake up and trigger those pesky cold sores. And when our immune system isn't at its best, the virus takes advantage, giving us those unwelcome cold sore blisters. But here's where stress steps in. It joins the party and says to cortisol, let's ramp things up. And when cortisol levels rise, guess what happens? More cold sore outbreaks. It's like stress is handing out VIP passes to the cold sore club. So, next time you're dealing with a cold sore, remember, it might just be cortisol and stress playing their not-so-fun game. 5. Breathing problems. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, impacting the respiratory system through inflammation promotion. Despite cortisol's natural anti-inflammatory properties, persistently high levels can lead to cortisol resistance. This can reduce our body's capacity to regulate inflammation, contributing to chronic respiratory inflammation. This process worsens chronic lung conditions like asthma and COPD. In asthma, unregulated inflammation due to ineffective cortisol control allows persistent inflammatory cells to trigger airway constriction, intensifying breathing challenges. 6. Anxiety. Prolonged high cortisol levels, often due to ongoing stress, can cause chronic anxiety. Cortisol release in response to stress is a natural, adaptive reaction. However, persistent stress and elevated cortisol can negatively impact your mental well-being. Elevated cortisol can disturb brain neurotransmitters and hormones regulating mood, potentially altering brain structures linked to emotions. This can heighten vulnerability to excessive worry, fear, and anxiety. The fight-or-flight response triggers when facing threats, activating the sympathetic nervous system and tensing muscles for swift reactions. Chronic stress and sustained cortisol elevation can lead to enduring muscle tension. This tension can contribute to your persistent discomfort and even pain. Tense muscles are prone to fatigue and trigger points, compounding physical strain. Moreover, prolonged physical tension can exacerbate stress and anxiety, establishing a cycle where mental and physical stresses reinforce each other. Number 7. Acid reflux. In our body's intricate mechanisms, high cortisol levels can unexpectedly play a role in weakening the lower esophageal sphincter, also known as the Les valve, which can contribute to acid reflux. This connection might raise eyebrows, showcasing how cortisol subtly affects our digestive symphony, potentially triggering or worsening acid reflux. Think of our digestive system as a well-tuned orchestra with various players. Elevated cortisol is like an uninvited conductor. As it manages stress responses, it inadvertently impacts digestion, setting off events that contribute to the weakening of the Les valve and subsequent acid reflux. High cortisol notably reduces stomach acid production, triggering a chain reaction. This disrupts subsequent digestion steps. This disruption mirrors an orchestra out of sync. Cortisol also alters the rhythm of gastric emptying, how food leaves the stomach. This imbalance creates favorable conditions for acid reflux. Additionally, cortisol seems to magnify our sensitivity to acid reflux symptoms. Let's see some other common symptoms that could signify your cortisol level might just be high. 1. Dizziness upon standing. Picture this: your cortisol levels are off kilter, and as you stand up, the room starts spinning. Cortisol's influence on blood pressure can trigger a dizzy sensation, like an internal roller coaster. 2. Diabetes risk. Here's a surprising turn: high cortisol can mess with insulin's message to your cells, upping the odds of type 2 diabetes by sabotaging blood sugar management. 3. Stomach ulcers. Cortisol plays both sides. While it manages immune responses, it can also make your stomach more vulnerable to invaders like Helicobacter pylori, fostering stomach ulcers. It might ramp up acid production, which in turn can worsen the discomfort and symptoms associated with acid reflux. 4. Restless legs. Ever felt your legs won't stay put? Blame cortisol's interference with your nervous system and its role in stress responses. It's like an unwanted dance party in your legs. 5. Hiccups. Even hiccups join the cortisol saga. Sky-high cortisol might trigger the hiccup shuffle, as if it's playing with your hiccup reflex, thanks to your diaphragm muscle. 6. Hot flashes. Cortisol spices things up during hormonal upheavals like menopause. Hormones tango with a dash of heat, causing those famous hot flashes. 7. Brain fog. Cortisol stress affects your brain too. Chronic stress's cortisol surge can cloud your mental clarity, dimming cognitive function. 8. Rosacea. Who knew cortisol could impact the skin? Its role in inflammation and immune responses can kindle or worsen skin conditions like rosacea. 9. Purple stretch marks. Cortisol's effect on skin elasticity can leave colorful marks, especially with rapid weight changes or high stress. If you suspect that you have one or multiple of these signs, you need to do some tests to be sure. And with home test kits today, it becomes even easier to do your confirmation. Cortisol home test kits are available for measuring cortisol levels in your body. These kits typically involve collecting saliva, urine, or blood samples and sending them to a lab for analysis. Keep in mind that while these kits can provide insights into your cortisol levels, it's essential to interpret the results in consultation with a healthcare professional, as various factors and medical conditions can influence cortisol levels. Always prioritize medical advice from a qualified healthcare provider. Now that you have a comprehensive grasp of the various indicators, let's delve into the fundamental causes of high cortisol. There are several causes that may result in high cortisol in the body, and the most common ones are: 1. Mental and emotional stress. Life's drama takes center stage here. Deadlines, relationships, and stresses become like rock stars, causing adrenal glands to belt out cortisol in overdrive. 2. Lack of quality sleep. Imagine cortisol as a symphony, with sleep as the conductor. Mess up the rhythm with sleep deprivation, and cortisol levels climb higher like notes in a crescendo. 3. Alcohol consumption. Cheers to unexpected surprises. A night of revelry coaxes adrenal glands into a cortisol release marathon, especially when facing hangovers or alcohol withdrawal. 4. Stimulant overuse. Meet caffeine and its secret accomplice, cortisol. Chug caffeine and adrenal glands ramp up cortisol production, providing an energy surge with a cost. 5. Steroid medications. Corticosteroids might help with inflammation, but they bring cortisol as a sidekick. Extended use leads to a cortisol overload, creating a hormonal seesaw. 6. Obesity. Body fat chats in the cortisol conversation. More fat means more cortisol, creating a cycle where they fuel each other's growth, a tag team that's hard to break free from. Now, let's look at how we can lower cortisol levels. 1. Nutritional yeast boost. Incorporating 2 to 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast into your diet daily provides a B vitamin boost, notably B6 and B12, vital for adrenal health and stress management. This yeast is also rich in protein and nutrients, promoting overall well-being. 2. Breathing techniques. Practice the 4 and 6 breathing technique, inhaling for 4 counts and exhaling for 6 counts. This simple method triggers your body's relaxation response, reducing cortisol and stress levels. It brings calmness to both muscles and thoughts, fostering relaxation. 3. Mind caffeine intake. Cut down on caffeine, as it can spike your cortisol. Replace caffeinated drinks with soothing herbal teas like chamomile or passion flower, aiding nervous system tranquility. 4. Gentle exercise. Engage in 1-hour daily low-stress activities like walking, yoga, or light swimming to regulate cortisol. These exercises induce relaxation and bolster stress management. 5. Vitamins D and K2. Consult a healthcare professional before supplementing vitamin D3 and vitamin K2. Vitamin D3 influences mood and immunity, while vitamin K2 supports bones. 6. Wholesome eating. Go for nutrient-packed whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats over refined sugars and grains. This stabilizes blood sugar and aids adrenal health, forming a basis for effective stress management. Addressing your cortisol levels can improve your overall health. With all the ways we have listed to help you best manage your cortisol situation, well-being is guaranteed. Again, you need to talk to your healthcare provider to get a better explanation about your symptoms. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and click on the like button. Smash that bell icon so you don't miss exciting videos that we will post soon. And if you have a topic you would like us to talk about, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.